Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, right here, right now, we actually got Bay Area hip-hop legendary artist and producer. We got the one and only Dap Daniel right here, live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm good, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome, man. Me personally, man, I grew up on Bay Area hip-hop, man. You know, when it comes to the Bay Area, my personal opinion, that's where all the greats come out of, man. So it's definitely an honor just to have such a legendary, talented individual slide on through to the Canadian FM dial this evening, man.
Man, it's all good, bro. I'm here for you. I'm here for the people, man. What we doing?
But I know you're a busy guy, Dap, so I'm going to take you right into this interview, man. But I want to take you back to the beginning, man. And I got to know, what made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Initially, I just like to rap. When you coming up in the game or whatever the case may be, you're not really thinking about all that. You just I like putting words together. I like how these other MCs sound that's already doing their thing, and they're the ones on the radio, so you're not really thinking that big. You just want to get your rhymes together and hopefully sound like them one day. So, that's really what got me started.
And also as well, man, my apologies. Also as well, man, in 2002, you actually did work on Lady Lust's album, When Love Turns Lust. I was wondering, how did yourself and Lady get connected? And of course, what was it like just working with her in the studio?
Oh man, me and Lady Lust go way back, bro. To just palling around in the studio back in back years ago. I can't even remember where we got our start, but I do know that I took liking to her because she could rhyme real good. And then later on, we wound up working in the same studio, engineering and things of that nature. And, of course, with that going on, we did more songs and we got more closer with that. But that's how we really hooked up, just being around the Bay and running into each other through mutual contacts. And then we wound up running that studio together, Poor Man Productions. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's out of Richmond, California, too. Shout out to Andre Rivers. He taught us a lot, both of us.
And also as well, man, that song you guys did together as well, Mirror Mirror, is one of my personal favorites off that record. That one and also On the Low.
You like that one?
Hey man, most definitely fire, man. I remember as well, it actually had on the CD copy back in the day, man. It had, I think the label was called Chocolate Mommy Entertainment, man, which I think was such a clever name to actually have as an entertainment label. Definitely,
one of my favorites too. That name in particular, man, speaks volumes for where she was coming from with that. And we did that song. She put it on that album, and we were just rhymers, trying to get our name out there, and get amongst the greats. And I think we did a good job.
And I have to ask as well, man, because when I was doing my research for this interview, I had that album back in the day, but I don't remember anything after around mid 2000s. Is Lady Lust still doing her thing today, or did she unfortunately put the microphone down?
I don't think she put the microphone down. I just talked to her a few days ago. I was in Vegas. That's where she resides at this point, as far as I know. And she didn't she didn't let me know one way or the other if she had put the mic down or not. But I know whenever it's time, she's ready to get it in. I know that for sure.
And also as well, man, you were actually 1/3 of the hip-hop trio called Westbound. I was wondering, how did yourself and the other two members get connected? And of course, what's the iconic story behind that amazing group?
Wow, glad you asked that. Dap Daniel, Mikey Mo, and Abyss. We hooked up through a mutual contact, a guy who was running a record label called 365 Records. His name is Qua, and we were doing a couple things through there from some mutual people that we knew. Shout out Walt Liquor, he really is a catalyst for all of that, and we got together through him, and we got around a bunch of other MCs, and which was cool, but it's like me and Mikey Mo stuck, and then Abyss too, and then we wind up doing that Westbound album. And it's crazy because we just finished up doing another one after all those years. We just did another one. We got back together and did something else. and it's dropping soon. Genesis Block is what the album is called. It's a great record we put together.
And also as well, while we're on the topic of Westbound records, man, one of my favorites that you guys actually put out was actually in 2006. It was actually your guys' self-titled album. I was wondering if you actually tell our listeners a bit more about this monumental record, and of course, what was it like just being in the studio as an entire group for the first time putting together such an amazing project?
Man, it was crazy because, we were putting it together while we were like touring at the time, for 365 Records. We did a tour. It was just a regional tour, but while we were on that tour, we were doing some songs at the same time. And to be in the studio with Mikey Mo and the Bits, of course, was a beautiful thing. But we didn't even really know what we was creating at the time. It just, when we got down and done with it, it was this record, and it was nice and it was phenomenal, but we were so in the MC mode, it was like on to the next. But it wound up being a record that everybody loved, and, I didn't really pay attention to that until later, and that's why we got together to do another one.
And I gotta say as well, that album to me is absolutely phenomenal, man. Like, is it still available to be purchased today? Like, is it still circulating the internet?
I'm not even sure, bro. I could find out, but I haven't come across it. I know if it is available, it's available on 365 Records with my boy CKOR and them. I haven't come across it in a long time myself. I think my boy Mikey Mo has a copy of it. I myself don't, but, I can research that for you and get it to you if possible.
And I gotta say as well, man, one of my favorite joints off that record was Always Never Back Down, man. I always loved the meaning behind that phenomenal song.
Oh, wow. Man. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Once again, just MCing, but, taking it real serious, just like we do now. Hip-hop is a little different these days than when we was doing our thing, but, it's still a lot of room left for, MCing in this game, and that's what we are.
And also as well, while we're actually on the topic of 365 Records, man, I was wondering, how did that record deal come to be for you guys? And of course, like, what was it like just working for that imprint so early on in your legendary careers?
It was cool. It came about because the homeboy CKOR, he already had that record label. And I've been on CKOR since maybe I was 18 years old, and he was always deep into the hip-hop thing, and when I ran across him again after some years of not being around, he already had the label, and then I started doing work with him, and that's how that happened. If he had the label already, it was like, yeah, let's do this. We got Mikey Mo, we got this, and, the rest is history, as they say.
And also as well, man, as you already know, we got connected through Bay Area hip-hop historian named Brain Camping, man. I was wondering, how did yourself and him get connected, and what's the story behind that partnership?
Oh, man. Well, to keep it real, I don't know if I had posted something. I don't really remember, but I know he hit me up on the Instagram, was like, hey, man, do you mind doing some raps on this beat I made? And it was two of them. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that, And then he sent me the music, and I was like, yeah, I really want to do this. But really, that's just how it happened. I've never met him personally. But we did our thing through the internet, and, it was just a beautiful thing. His beats were nice. And, I just flowed to that, and that's how we got connected.
And I gotta say as well, man, definitely huge shout out to Brain Camping. Honestly, man, not even for just setting this up, man, for just doing what he does for hip hop, man, because that individual is such an amazing guy, and it's such a delight to work with as well.
Yeah, huge shout out to Brain Camping, man. Appreciate you, bro, if you're listening. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for putting me in the mix with whatever you do and arranging this interview. Much love, you feel me?
Most definitely shout out to the one and only Brain Camping, man. Such a phenomenal individual.
Yes, sir.
And also, as well, man, in the year 2009, you released my personal favorite single that you actually did, titled Turn Up the Heat. I was always wondering, man, what's the story behind that amazing song? And of course, is it still circulating the net to actually be streamed or purchased today?
Yeah, that song is still circulating the internet. All you got to do is type in that Daniel turning up the heat. It'll pop up. Keep it crazy real with you. It's funny because, well, a while ago I checked on it to see what the numbers was on it, and it seemed like the instrumental was doing better than the record itself. Like, people download the instrumental a lot, like, which is cool. You know, but it's there for purchase, download, whatever the case may be. I did that song with 365 again. And, the beat, you know, I forgot who did that beat, and it just talked to me when I got it, and that's how that song came out. You know, like I said, I'm a hip hop head, so I'm ready to rap on anything that speaks to me. You know.
And I gotta say, man, it's still one of my favorite songs. That's a song that I first heard when I actually discovered you, man, and then I started doing my digging, and that's when I came across the whole Westbound thing as well.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Connected to the same person.
But also as well, man, July 19th, 2021, so we're jumping ahead the timeline here quite a bit, but Westbound actually released the single titled Get It in the Lockdown, man. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this new single, and of course, where can we actually stream or purchase it today?
Yeah, Get It in the Lockdown, man. That came about due to the COVID-19 shutdown type deal, when, you know, that was really an issue at the time, and you know, it did put a lot of people out of business for a while. Some people came back, some people didn't, but our attitude was, you know, you still got to do what you got to do, even in chaos. There's always opportunity in chaos, as far as you know, in my opinion. So that's how that song came about. You know, you can get it in the lockdown. We're going to get it still. No matter what happened, we're going to get it, even in the lockdown. And yes, that song is available for purchase too. You just have to type in Westbound, Get It in the Lockdown, and it'll pop up where you can get it. I know it's on Bandcamp for sure, under Westbound. And, you know, we putting that under the NFT situation too.
And I have to ask as well, man, is this single actually going to be available on the up-and-coming Westbound record, or is this just like a completely separate project?
No, that will be on the Westbound project for sure.
And I gotta ask this as well, man, because I know you brought up a little bit about the album, and I know you obviously can't let too many cats out of the bag, because at the end of the day, you know, you guys are still building that release. But I have to ask, man, what can our listeners expect from this up and coming Westbound release? Because me personally, I'm excited that you actually revealed there's a new record coming. Me personally, as a fan, I'm excited for this project.
Well, what you can expect is some more of that good old hip hop that we do. More on the informative level, you know, to teach some people some things, and then have some fun while we hip hopping and doing that. The songs on are very good. Great, produced by Abyss, which is one of the members of Westbound. He's also a great producer. He produced all the songs on there, and it's just some good old slap, man. Some good old hip hop songs, man. And I think people gonna love that.
And also as well, I read via Instagram that back in September that it was revealed via contact on a fellow Bay Area hip hop artist that you were actually going to be working on the Finders Keepers, the movie. I was wondering, how did yourself and Contact get connected? And of course, what can we expect from this up and coming movie release?
Wow, glad you asked that. Man, Contact and I go way back to high school, bro. Like, I want to say 10th grade, maybe, you know. And we were doing a lot of things in high school pertaining to entertainment, rap, and all that stuff. And by the time we graduated, he had taken it somewhere else. You know, he started to be on tour with Two Live Crew and stuff like that, which was great. But he always brought everything back home, and you know, that's really how this got started. Not too many months ago, he had a session with me. He was taking care of some other stuff he was doing. He had a session with me, and after we were done with the session, he was like, "Yo, man, you want to do a movie?" I was like, "Yeah." And after that, it got developed. Finders Keepers, the movie, and I'm currently the sound director and the music director of the soundtrack, and that's what I'm getting developed right now as we speak. Right before you called, that's what I'm working on, getting the soundtrack ready. It's a real great soundtrack, man, and the movie's great. There's an actor in there. He's a comedian. They call him Comedian Bud. He's a star of it, and then there's the co-star. His name is Clec Cleckley, which is I don't know if you're familiar with the Bro Hides, but he's one of those. And and they were just real funny in there. A couple of other people in the movie that I know, and we just made a little extravaganza out of it. And Finders Keepers, the movie. It'll be coming out in 2022.
And I gotta say, man, just by you describing that, it definitely sounds like it's gonna be a monumental film, man. I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on a DVD copy.
Got you.
And also, as well, man, I have to ask, what is next for yourself, Dap Daniel, man? Because I do know that we only touched base on a sliver of your legendary career here this evening. But I have to ask, man, is there anything we happen to miss? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the Canadian radio station airwaves this evening.
Man, tell everybody out there, be on the lookout for my album, Blackout. That's what it's called, Blackout album. It'll be coming soon in 2022 as well. Got a couple of songs on there, maybe about 13 joints I'm going to be dropping on you guys real soon. And, the soundtrack, of course, I'll be on there. I'll make appearances on there as far as some rapping and producing is concerned. And, I'm producing Lucy Dream. I don't know if you heard about her, but I produced a record for her. She got a record coming out too. Except she's going to change her name to use her real name, which is Kenya Lynn, which is dope, I thought, when she wanted to do that. But those are the things that I'll be involved with. And there's a bunch of other things that I could mention, but we'll be on here all day.
But also, Dap, this is the time in the interview, man, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves, just like a chance to give, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, but most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Dap Daniel if they're not already doing so.
It's all good. Yeah, man, to the people out there, to the people, you can get me on Instagram at _ Daniel. You can get me on Facebook, Dap Daniel, Facebook /Dap Daniel. You can get me on Twitter, Dap Daniel again. All you got to do is type in Dap Daniel. I'm right there. You can get me on, where else we at? Yeah, all those things. Everything Dap Daniel. Instagram _ Dap Daniel. You can find me there.
And I got to say,
I would like to, real quick, I would like to shout out Mikey Mo and the other parts of Westbound. I like to shout out the Bro Hides, all of them. I like to shout out my boy Quiet, who I mentioned earlier. I like to shout out my boy Walt Liquor, and shout out to Lady Lust, wherever you are. Hope you listening. Shout out to her. Shout out to my homegirl Defa Heifer, and shout out to everybody who got something to do with the experience of Dap Daniel. And definitely shout out the radio station right here.
Hey, man, I gotta say, I appreciate the love, man. I really do, man. It was definitely an honor to welcome such a legendary Bay Area hip-hop artist and producer right here tonight, man. It definitely was an honor, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon, man. I greatly appreciate your time.
Man, I appreciate your time for having me on, man. Anytime you need me to come on and say something, I'm right here. I'm only a phone call away.
Hey, man, most definitely sounds like a plan, man. Anything you need as well, radio-wise, don't hesitate to reach out, man. Thank you so much, Dap, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in the Bay.
You too, bro.